Hey, would you like a bus tour in Mexico City with completely unmarked stops, confusing directions, and everything in Spanish so you'll get lost? Is the Mexico City tour bus worth it? No. End of video. Just kidding, please don't leave yet. Today, I'm going to share why the Mexico City tour bus is not something you should do when you visit Mexico City. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why the Turibus, the Mexico City tour bus, is not for you. Hey, it's Sarah. I've lived in Mexico for 10 years and I am your guide to authentic experience in Mexico. Make sure you grab my Explore Mexico City cheat sheet down below. The number one reason why you should not use the Mexico City tour bus is you don't speak Spanish. So you thought that the tour bus designed for international tourists would actually have staff that speaks English? Think again. I'm going to dig into some cultural norms on this one and it might make a few people mad. This is unfortunately very common in Mexico. Even companies that you think would be very polished and professional are not. It's really common for training to just be very lax or completely non-existent in businesses. So you might find that your real life experience with a company or business is completely out of touch with what they say on their website, if they have one. A quick caveat though, Mexico is a land of great contrast. So either you get treated like a king or there's absolutely no customer service whatsoever. There's really no in between. This inconsistency in Mexico is something you're going to notice across the board. If I hadn't spoken Spanish during my sojourn on the Mexico City Turibus, I would never have gotten on the bus at all. And this was a recurring theme throughout the day. Check it out. All right, everybody, we are live on the Turibus. And I just wanted to give a couple of first impressions. First of all, it was very easy to get on. They give you this little wristband and a printed ticket, which is pretty common practice for tour buses. Then they give you some headphones. Now, the guy that helped me out today did not speak English. Not a problem for me, but, a lot of folks that use these buses are, tourists, so they might not speak English, might not speak Spanish. But they gave me a set of headphones. They were very friendly. I did ask the gentleman about, what if I don't speak Spanish? What do I do? And he said that he just answered me and said, oh, some of my coworkers speak English. Well, where are they? So it might be a little bit of a challenge depending on the day, depending on who's working, depending on what stop you're getting on, if you don't speak Spanish, to figure out things. Hey guys, something else I want to make you aware of is, so far I've only heard announcements in Spanish on the bus. So they do have a recording explaining the different monuments and locations in English and in, let me check here, looks like 10 languages, but the actual announcements telling you what stop you're at, that's all in Spanish. So let's talk about some of the key takeaways on the Turibus as I give you a little bit of a view here of a pole in Coyoacán. Isn't that a nice pole behind my head? If you don't speak Spanish, it's going to be a little bit difficult for you. They don't seem to put a whole lot of thought into making sure this is a seamless experience for the tourist who does not speak Spanish. I did notice that a lot of the announcements for the stops, the most important things, they were in Spanish only. Now, if you learn the word, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but that reading the word and hearing it on an announcement amidst a bunch of ambient noise is a big difference. It's not easy. Listening is a hard skill in a language, and especially when there's a lot of noise and you're hearing it over a sound system, it's really, really hard to pick out words in a foreign language like that. So I'm going to give the Turibus a 4 or 5 out of 10. As far as catering to the English speaker. Also, the gentleman that sold me my ticket, he didn't speak a lick of English, and he was at one of the regular stops. He had a Turibus vest on. He was a vendor that worked for the company. Didn't speak any English. That's fine for me because I speak Spanish, but for those of you out there that don't, that's going to be a problem. This is a tour bus system designed for tourists that don't speak Spanish, so I don't think they do well in that regard at all. They need to really step up their game in making sure that they can speak to the people that they're catering to and to their customers, and making sure they're providing all of the services that they're promising to provide. And they simply don't do that. So I'm not too impressed with the services of the Turibus when it comes to catering to the non-Spanish speaking tourist. Now, if you need to purchase a ticket for something and you're not quite sure how to go about that in Spanish, here's what you can say. Me gustaría un boleto, por favor. Me gustaría un boleto, por favor. You try it? I'm sure it was great. Now, if you want to buy more than one ticket, you can just say, me gustaría, hold up your fingers for how many numbers of tickets. Boletos, por favor. Yes, if you know the numbers, awesome, but sometimes when you're in a rush, you forget numbers off the top of your head. So I found that using your fingers is tried and true method to get them to understand what you're asking for. When it's time to ask for the price, you can say, ¿Cuánto es? ¿Cuánto es? I highly recommend that you actually know the price in advance. That way you're not going to get all befuzzled when they actually tell you the price. Because you probably, if you don't speak Spanish, you probably are not going to understand the number that they tell you. However, you can usually look up the price in advance. You'll already know. Or just ask them, like, lean over so they can show you the price. So then you can just see the numbers, and then you'll know exactly how much it is. Do you need some Spanish classes to get ready for your trip? Click the link down in the description box below, or visit senorasarasclassroom.com right here on the screen. You can see that. The next reason I do not recommend that you do the Mexico City tour bus, buying your ticket is kind of a huge pain. Again, we have to talk about inconsistency in Mexico. This is not intended to discourage you from visiting. I strongly encourage you to visit Mexico, but I think if you are ready and you know what to expect when you come here, it's going to make your trip go a whole lot smoother and better. So I actually had to do a Google search on my own to figure out that I was able to purchase my Turibus tickets at any stop. So I made my way to the stop, and it was still not abundantly clear who was to sell me my tickets. I had to actually find passengers and ask them, hey, where did you get your tickets? And then they pointed me to an employee who was very friendly, but not that easy to pick out among the crowd. And here's another issue that is very, very common in Mexico, admittedly frustrating, but very common. His credit card terminal was not working. Now, remember everybody, Turibus is a huge company that has tours in many cities in Mexico. We're not talking about a little mom and pop company here. This is a large company. This is a big business. And the employee didn't have a credit card terminal that worked. Now, I brought cash with me because I'm used to that sort of thing in Mexico, right? But if you're a tourist visiting Mexico and you think you're just going to be able to use your credit card, no, you're not. Sorry, that's what happens. So make sure you bring cash with you and make sure that you bring change. When I say change, make sure that you have 100 peso bills and less. So that means your 50 peso, your 20 peso, your 10, even your 5. Those are coins. 10 and 5 are coins. Make sure you have plenty of the change with you, because a lot of places, even large establishments like McDonald's, won't give you change. They would rather turn down a customer than give you change, which blows my mind, but yeah. So make sure you have cash with you always, because you can't always rely on your credit card, even at large establishments. Why are you interested in visiting Mexico? Pop us a comment below. Thirdly, you should not use the Mexico City tour bus because you're definitely going to get lost. Did you know that the Mexico City Turibus will apparently only pick you up at certain stops, not at all of them? I didn't know that either. I had to ask a local street vendor to get the correct answer. Check that out in the next clip. Guys, I don't think they make your trip easier. I had to ask a random passerby about this. So they don't pick you up at just any stop either. You can't just go to any stop and be picked up, and they don't make that clear. No one explains that to you. So here I am walking back through the park. Beautiful walk through the park. I'm perfectly fine with this. And I live here, so it's not a problem. But if I was a tourist today in Mexico City, I would be absolutely lost if I didn't speak Spanish and I was trying to navigate the Turibus system. I'm not impressed. The Turibus does not pick you up to just any stop. you have to know which stops that it picks you up at. And that's not expressed in anything in their website or material. I'm gonna go back and really look at the website to see if there's information on that. But I can tell you guys, I picked up the information, or I looked at the information very clearly on the website, and I was reading just specifically about this circuit. One second. Con permiso. I'm interrupting people. Con permiso means excuse me. Really good to know. Con permiso. I shouldn't have to ask a local vendor, hey, does the tour bus stop pass by here? And then he tells me where to go, but that's because I speak Spanish. They're catering supposedly to people that don't speak Spanish, and that they're providing you a product that's going to help you get around Mexico City. You're going to be lost because they don't give you all the details that you need to know. They don't tell you where you need to go specifically to get back on the bus. So I was just standing at a Turibus stop number 5, where I was just showing you, and they weren't going to pass by there and pick me up. They drop people off there, but they will not pick you up there. I'm like, oh, well, that's according to the guy that was sitting there too. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Here I am getting all up in arms about it. That guy may not know what he's talking about either. That's possible. But I tend to believe him because he's a vendor that like sits on that corner. Obviously that's his corner where he sells things, right? And so I believe what he says because that's his job. Every single day he knows what he's doing. He knows the area, right? So he probably knows what he's talking about. He could be wrong though. A lot of times I have found it, unfortunately, in Mexico, people will just say stuff and not really know what they're talking about, and just because they're afraid to say they don't know. So general rule of thumb, here's a golden nugget for you. In Mexico, if you're asking for directions, ask at least 3 people. When you get 2 corroborating stories, then that's the answer. All right? Never fails. Let's check out this traditional music that you're going to see absolutely everywhere. Here we go. This guy, I forgot what the name of that music machine is, but let's see if he'll let me. Let me see if he'll let me get a little bit of it for you. Buenas tardes. ¿Puedo ver enfrente un poco? ¿Cómo se llama ese instrumento? He doesn't seem like he really wants to talk to me. He just wants money. Which, I mean, that's his job. Understandable. He's not really interested in chatting though. Okay. Anyway. Okay, we gotta see this puppy. There's the puppy. There he is. Oh, so cute. Sorry, had to. Okay. I keep getting distracted as I'm trying to tell you the story. So apparently the area where the Turibus actually picks up people is over here, where there's absolutely, as far as I could see, nothing marked that says it's part of the Turibus. We're gonna go check it out. But yeah, it's not very intuitive, I have to say. Not very nice for the person that doesn't speak Spanish. You would be lost if you didn't speak Spanish. So this is the area where I'm told to wait for the Turibus. Now this looks really cool. This is a bakery. It's a bakery and a cake shop. I'm sure it looks probably really good. I just really don't need to eat more sweets right now. And it's a really neat area, and it looks like they do have this nice space where it's like kind of roped off, where you won't need to get run over. You won't need to get run over. Yeah, that's right. And this is the tram that I was talking about. This is not the Turibus, but I don't see anything that shows that this is a Turibus stop so far. Let's take a walk and see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something here. But this is like, the tram stuff is clearly marked. Look, here's the tram, like a sign for the tram. I mean, it's a little bit messed up, but it's here. It's here, right? And they've also got this helpful sign, and obviously a lady that works with the tram standing here, clearly marked, easy to see. So these guys they know what they're doing. They're helpful. Where on earth is the Turibus information? Do you see anything here that says Turibus? I don't. I'm gonna ask, but I mean, I did see people getting on here earlier, so that's the only indication, right? There's nothing here. I don't see anything else that shows that this is where we're supposed to be to get on the Turibus, and I just don't think that's very good customer service, folks. I mean, why do I have to walk around asking street vendors where to board? They should have a sign up somewhere. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm just missing it. If you've seen it in this video, tell me. Please, I would love to know. Come on, Turibus, mark your stops and tell tourists where to go, please. My goodness. Do you want to avoid getting lost in the historic downtown area? Grab my Explore Mexico City cheat sheet down below for detailed maps and insider tips on how to navigate El Centro. You should also not do the Mexico City tour bus because it's a huge waste of your time. Time is precious when you're on vacation, right? Let me tell you a little secret that could make or break your trip. The traffic in Mexico City is some of the worst traffic on earth. Seriously, if you live in Mexico City, you are absolutely thrilled with a commute that is only 1 hour. So the Turibus is a bus, so that means it gets stuck in traffic. The Turibus website says, let me see here, what does it say? Frequency, approximately every 30 minutes, depending on traffic and weather conditions. That's cute. Mexico City survival trip, double any estimated time that you're given and you might show up on time. Use the Metro bus to get around Mexico City a little bit quicker. The Metro bus has its own lane, so it doesn't have to worry about any of the traffic. In fact, the Metrobus follows some of the exact same routes that the Mexico City tour bus does. Are you wondering how to use the Mexico City Metrobus? Check out my ultimate guide to this public transit system up in the cards. You also shouldn't use the Mexico City tour bus because it's kind of a tourist trap. We're all here because we want authentic experience in Mexico, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're probably not interested in big shopping malls and Americanized tacos. I mean, if that's what you want, more power to you, no judgment. But seriously, did you come to Mexico to visit a stylized carbon copy of New York City? I certainly didn't. Most of the routes on the Mexico City tour bus feature these big shopping malls with super luxury brands and high ticket prices. Sure, those things are nice, but that's not what this channel is about, and I'm never going to send you to those places here. I want you to experience some of that special, unique culture and flavor that Mexico has to offer, and Gucci ain't it. What's that? You want a video that maps out some of the best Turibus routes and attractions using public transportation? Stay tuned for the next video. And subscribe!